Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! Alright, time to find out if anybody has anything new to say here in town. What? A dragon is going to be coming here? Yeah, we kind of invited one of the dragons to stare at the elemental crystal. If they wanted. Well, if you say he won't do any harm, that's good enough for me. I'll let him pass. Could you repeat that? I didn't hear you clearly. A dragon is coming to visit the town? Well, there goes the neighborhood. It would actually be very interesting to see a dragon just waltzing around town. Did you know there's a manticore down the road who opened up a bagel shop? That's just odd, but also very fascinating. I can definitely say that my favorite NPC, Dawn, is going to have some new dialogue. I saw that huge monster again! He invited me to his bagel shop just down the road. Can you believe it? I didn't know monsters could be so nice. He's very nice. His name is Delrath. You don't have much to say, but by golly, I look forward to seeing your updates. And also, you have a fun character portrait. I was up north hunting. Saw a deer, but he got away from me. Cool. A dragon is going to be visiting our town? Of all the crazy things. Be sure and warn me before he shows up, so I can hide. You don't need to hide. Not unless you're an elemental crystal. But even then, he promised to only look. What? One of the dragons will be coming back to see the crystals? That's crazy! Well, if you're sure he'll do no harm, I suppose it might be okay. Yeah, he'll have to come back some other time, though. We're not going to be placing the elemental crystals back until after we found them all. Don't necessarily need Thurlum finding out about the crystals being back. He'll just steal them again. Update from Kristana's journal. Visits merge at the forest cave. Find Elalum in Titalthum Palace. It's west from town near the mountains. Yep, we've seen it. And speaking of Titalthum Palace, how about some advice for when we go there? Hi, Kristana. Would you like to see the future? You bet! I'm ready for it. Peers into her crystal ball. When you enter the palace, head upstairs first. When you descend below the ground floor, Glacia will be in danger. Keep her protected. Yeah, this is going to be the first dungeon that has both upper and lower floors. There is a book in the palace dungeon that will save you a lot of anguish. When you enter the dungeon, head left then right to find it. Okay, I'm definitely going to write that down. And I remember exactly what that book is going to teach us. Okay, we found some treasures. Let's go ahead and deliver them and get some cash. Hey, that's a nice jeweled egg you have there. I'll give you... Oh boy, these treasures are becoming more and more worth it. I'll give you 350 gold for it. Do you want to sell it? No. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. Nah, I'm just pulling your leg. I wanted to find out what happens if I said no. I'll sell it to you after we're done with this conversation. Ah, nice. A ruby chain. I'll pay 500 gold. Well, I can't refuse that. Great, here's 500 gold. A jade figurine of a Calubra. Cute. I'll take it for 300 gold. Okay. I mean, what am I gonna do with it? I don't have a place for it in my home. An amber fruit carving. Unusual. I'll take it for 250 gold. Unusual is not as worth as much as cute. Alright, let's get back to that other thing. Jeweled egg, 350 gold. Here you go. And now I have... I have a lot of money. Oh boy. With that amount of money, I can absolutely finish buying everyone's strongest weapons. In fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now, before we visit King Randolph King and Thurlum. For example, Kristana's best weapon is only 420 gold. I say only, but that was pretty expensive at the start of the game. But with this, we're bringing her attack power from 22 to 27. Now, going over the new weapons, the broadsword. Voted #1 choice by readers of the Barbarian Warlords Monthly. I wonder if Kristana actually reads that. Glace's warbow. Top pick of the Elvish Archery Club. And Fib's strongest weapon, the broad axe. The Dwarven Times named this their editor's pick. And this leaves me with so much money to spare, I think I can even get the remainder of the best armor in the game. It's gonna be close. The Curious is 640 gold, and I need to buy 3 of these. One of us already has it. I think Fibs does. But just as an example, upgrading Kristana's armor to that brings her defense from 4 to 11. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's definitely going to be helpful. I mean, if anything, 4 is almost nothing at this point in the game. And double checking here. Nope, I was wrong. Fibs doesn't actually have the strongest armor yet. He has the second strongest. Regardless, I am going to go ahead and buy him the Curious, and if I can't afford a Curious for everyone, I'll give Fib's old armor to Glace. She's not going to need the armor as badly since she's in the back row. At the very least, the hauberk will still be an improvement over the leather vest, bringing her magic defense from 2 to 3. That's definitely not much of a difference, but it's still an improvement. Wow, I can't believe how many of us were still just holding the weaker leather vest. That's just one of the earliest equipments that I could have gotten. So having these armors is going to be a huge help going forward. Okay, that takes care of that. So since this is a new armor, let's look at its description. The Cuirass. A heavy breastplate with lighter sections of chainmail for the rest of the body. Looking over my inventory space, I can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. It would definitely not be a bad idea to sell some items to make some room. Also, I still need to sell that leather vest. I'll do that at the bar, though. At the tavern. Because I'm also going to be buying some items. I know up to this point I've been typically buying equipment in between episodes, but I'm going to be leaving town before the end of this episode, so best to do it while I'm still in town. At the least, I thought it would be interesting to go over my mentality as I bought equipment, so it has been a while since you've seen that mentality. So here's a fun fact. The cheese pizza sells for 5 gold. This is actually regardless of how many uses the cheese pizza has left. Kristana's cheese pizza has not been used yet, so Kristana's pizza still has 5 charges, whereas I've already used 4 other charges with Jareth's cheese pizza, and yet I can also sell that for 5 gold. So I can actually sell this for this, even though there's only 1 use, get a little bit of money back, and then buy another one for those extra 4 charges back. That'll save me a little bit of money. The pepperoni pizza, by the way, I believe heals 10 HP per charge. However, pepperoni's meat source is dubious, so I'm not going to be buying any pepperoni pizza. I am going to go ahead and buy breadsticks, though. And there we go. Every one of my party members has cheese pizza, which I have bought because it altogether heals the same amount as the Jagbo elixir, but the amounts are small and can be spread throughout multiple party members. Likewise with the breadsticks, which is a basket of tasty breadsticks with cheese. Oh my gosh, that's even better. The only thing that would make that perfect is some sauce. And sure enough, the breadsticks at least heals 10 MP per charge. Also, somewhere along the way, I got the more powerful versions of healing items in a couple of chests. I guess I wasn't necessarily paying attention, because I was expecting the items to make these elixirs rather than the elixirs themselves. But we got the Atla elixir, a healing potion, stronger than Jagbo elixir, recovers 50 HP. And the Lilato elixir, a magical recovery potion, stronger than Brofa elixir, heals 50 MP. Meanwhile, in the last episode, we got the Fiery Ring, which is a defensive buff. Overall, stat-wise, we have the same amount of defense, with the exception of Glacia, who's in the back row anyway. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is give the Fiery Ring to Fibs, because although he does have the highest defense already, he also has the lowest agility, which means that if any enemies attack him, they're less likely to miss him. So we'll go ahead and give that to him. It does lower his magic attack because we're unequipping the Cascading Ring as a result. I'm not sure who I want to give the Cascading Ring to instead. Perhaps Kristana, since she has not learned the level 2 spells yet. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. That leaves the Misty Ring with its attack buff. I think for now I'm going to go ahead and give that to Jareth, since Jareth is the one who gets the first attack in battle. So good to get some extra damage in right from the start. Oh, it occurs to me while we're here, I hadn't talked to you yet. A dragon is going to be visiting our town? I suppose he'll want something to eat and drink while he's here. I'd better tell Darren to get some pizzas ready. Yeah, please do not turn me into a pizza. By the way, I love how the invitation of Shalom to town has become the talk of the town. Everyone's up in arms or nervous or whatever about a dragon who previously attacked the town being freely invited to the town. And why not? He's a chill dude. Anyway, let's go ahead and check up on the two in here. This should be interesting. King Randolph is still reading Thurlam's ransom note. PSS, don't try to convince me that there's something wrong with your kingdom. I've done my homework, and I'm immune to reverse psychology. But are you immune to reverse psychology? Thurlam blinks. That would be regular psychology. No, it's the reverse of reverse psychology. Yeah, regular psychology, says Thurlam. Oh yeah, you're right. My mistake. So if reverse psychology is trying to convince you that there's something wrong with the kingdom, what would regular psychology be? This is a question I didn't know that I wanted to know. Thurlam ponders that for a moment. It would be like trying to get me to understand my feelings and motivations and come to grips with them, or some hippie nonsense like that. Ah, I see. You're a pretty smart dragon, you know that? Thanks, says Thurlam with a reptilian smile. No crud. I just realized I didn't include that in the note. Do you have a pen? Yeah, I think I have one around here somewhere. Looks around on the table and finds a pencil. Will a pencil do? Sure, says Thurlam. Hand over the note for just a sec. Randolph offers the long scroll over to the dragon, who grabs up the pencil in his claw and starts writing. Let me just pencil this in real quick. Okay, there you go, says Thurlam, handing back the scroll and pencil. Thanks. No problem. Okay, let's move on. PSS, don't try to get me in touch with my feelings and come to grips with them, or some hippie nonsense like that. I'm immune to psychology. Out of curiosity, how well do the rest of you do with psychology and or reverse psychology? I am probably immune to reverse psychology at the very least. As for psychology, regular psychology, it is kind of a fascinating subject for me, and one I kind of dabble in. Nods. That's good to know. You know, I once met a hippie up north. They're not that bad when you get to know them. His choice in clothing was kind of bizarre, though. It's something you'd appreciate in hindsight. There are very few hippie monsters in the Dragonlands, says Thurlam. Mostly because if you can't fight or refuse to, the guys who can fight will beat you up and take all your stuff. The dragon gets a wicked grin on his snout. I like to play around with them. No, I'm not gonna beat you up. I'm a hippie too. It's cool, man. Whoops! I was just kidding. You're toast, dude. You should see the looks on their faces. The dragon chortles in amusement. Can I just say, by the way, that this dialogue is just fun to read? That's just mean. Yes, but fun. Hey, I'm evil, remember? Says Thurlam. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You could be a bit nicer though, don't you think? I look at it this way, says Thurlam. If I don't beat him up and take his stuff, someone else will. So I'm actually doing him a favor, saving him from getting beaten up by someone else. That's not how that works! Okay, you have a point. But couldn't you just take his stuff without beating him up? Thurlam blinks. Well, where's the fun in that? Frowns. Okay, look. You're walking along and you see a hippie goblin, or some kind of guy, and he's got some treasure or some sort of thing. Wait. If he's a hippie, how did he get treasure? He won't fight for it. Did he take it when someone wasn't looking? No, he probably just found it while exploring the world map. Thorlon lifts a long talon. I've often wondered that very thing. Where do the hippies get their treasure? Maybe they're not real hippies. Maybe they're hippie wannabes or something. Or maybe it's a trick to lure their victims into a false sense of security. Then they beat up their victims and take their treasure. Those evil jerks! Exclaims Thorlum. See, now I don't feel bad about beating them up. You see, this is exactly the type of bull roar we have to put up with in the Dragonlands. Bull roar? The bull roarer, rhombus or turndun, is an ancient ritual musical instrument and a device historically used for communicating over great distances. I don't think that's what we're talking about. Oh, here we go. An extremely loud and vehement voice. Vehement? Showing strong feeling, forceful, passionate, or intense. Well, okay then. But you gotta be sure, if he's a real hippie, I'd let him go. Well, how can you tell the difference between a real hippie and one of those evil jerks? Asked the dragon. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. Well, go ahead and kind of take your time with this one. We still got a couple of dungeons to explore. I say, if he's a hippie, he gets beat up and I take his stuff, says Thorlum. That keeps everything simple. Wait, I got it! Okay, you're walking along, and you see a hippie orc, and he's like, please don't eat me and take my stuff. All you need is love, man. Feel the love in the air. Or whatever. You look like a pretty strong and tough dragon. You could probably take a little heat. So let him go, and if he comes after you and starts wailing on you, then beat him up. I like my way better, says Thorlum. Sighs. Well, I tried. You know what? Good on you. And a valiant effort it was, notes Thorlum with a friendly grin. Mouth is agape. I think I lost a couple IQ points from hearing all of that. I'll be waiting outside. You said it, Fibs. Let's go, guys. But you could be a little nicer. Maybe just try it out once in a while. You might even like it. Oh, alright, says Thorlum reluctantly. If it'll make you happy, I'll give it a try. Once. But don't expect me to like it. The conversations between these two is something to always look forward to. Okay, I need to stay at the inn real quick. Not only to make it nighttime, or daytime, because it is night, but also, I need to do some healing anyway. I am still hurting from the last dragon fight. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start making my way to the entrance of Titautham Palace, and along the way, I want to talk about trees. No, this is not more hippie talk. This is just, some interesting information. So, in RPG Maker 3, You do not manually place trees on the world map. Rather, you draw a tree texture in the map editor, and RPG Maker 3 automatically places trees on it. You can even set the density of the trees. You gotta be careful about putting paths through any forest, though, because there is a chance that a tree could spawn on the path, such as this tree right here. Interestingly, the tree randomizer can be re-rolled if, and only if, you save and reload the game on the world map. And in fact, this game's manual recommends against saving on the world map, or else a tree might spawn on the path. However, this tree here wound up spawning here at the start of the game, so I'm actually going to go ahead and save and reload to relocate it. Wait, what? Oh gosh dang it. Okay, well, as you can see, trees do get reshuffled when you reload the game. This one, though, has really taken root. Oh well, we can just walk around it. We're not even going in that direction anyway. Our next destination is right over here. Next time, we'll be heading to Titalthum Palace. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oink!